Hey guys, Mark Ferrasci, ProTech Dog Training. I did my video yesterday with the dog that needs a lot of work in socialization and getting him out, and that I told you about missed the imprint periods, okay? And I had a lot of comments coming in, and one of the trainers even in Vegas, he's a trainer slash heavy hobbyist. They get online with me, and there's a lot of feedback, a lot of interchange that gets my juices flowing, so I kind of wanted to comment on a couple of those. One of the ones is about 7:30. I just was looking at the 7 minutes and 30 seconds. We go through right around that time period. We go through greeting her into a person that's a worker there at the Tractor Supply that helps a lot. A lot of this is ability for what I've been doing for years. I've been doing this since I was a kid. And so I find that I build my relationships with the places that I go in. It may be Home Depot, it may be Tractor Supply, wherever it is that I go to hang out that's in my neighborhood. I will go build my relationships. When you first go in, they don't know who you are, and a lot of times you might get run out, or you'll have some altercation with the public. And in general, one of the comments came in, I was pretty brave in doing this out in public with a film, somebody filming me, etc. And my answer to him was that you're right, but I never get anything done if I don't expose the dog to this environment and use that as a tool, and understanding how to use that and address public's ignorance, because most of the time it's just people that are well-meaning but don't have a clue on what to do with an animal, and they're not to a level of knowledge that I might be, okay? So that being the case, you're dealing with the ignorant public, and it's hard to deal with them in a lot of ways because you'll have people coming at you and being idiots, you know, it depends. So you gotta be careful, that's for sure. And then the other thing is that you've got to respect the environment that you're in, okay? A lot of trainers I've seen, or people that I've had, even customers will have this happen to them, well, they'll try to take out the dog and do the same thing that I'm telling them to do, and I'm educating them about working in public and environment. And they have people coming at them with all kinds of attitude. And it's how I find in myself, how I carry myself in that environment. One of the things is that I'm confident about what I do. I am the expert, and that being the case, I carry myself with that denoting attitude, right? And it doesn't mean that I need to be cocky and above that. You need to show respect. You saw me walking by that one lady. I said, "Do you mind, ma'am?" You know, and you show the public respect, and you respect their points of view the best you can, okay? And respect the places that you're in, and really value those people that you've built up to have that relationship with you, that are willing to let you go into their environments and be doing what I did yesterday, okay? Those folks that work in that store, I have a relationship with, and I build a relationship with, and that's a godsend. Without them, I couldn't do it. If they don't let me in that store, if they cop an attitude, if I do the wrong thing, I'm in their environment, and I interrupt their day with their workflow, they're trying to get their work done. They're trying to do things. So it's a very touchy type of thing. I'm not going to stay down there all day long. I may not go back down there for another week or two. I give them a break, and I make sure that I don't wear out my welcome, so to speak, okay? So it's real important in how you handle things, all right? And then how you carry yourself will get you get out what you get out what you put in. So in other words, if I put out the wrong attitude, I get cocky and I act like I'm just all that, people are going to come at me a lot stronger. So it's how you carry yourself, right? And then respecting that they don't have the knowledge that you do. And a lot of times I'll step back and I'll try my best to educate them a little bit, and tell them about my experience, and give them a show. I mean, you might go get Joker that might be in the car, and I'll go in there and I'll show off first if I sense any real negative, and get myself in a place where they go, whoa, you know, this guy knows what he's doing. I mean, you've got to work the environment. It's real important. So that's one of the comments is in regards to that. How you work your environment, what you do with it, it's a tool, okay? Like any other tool in my tool bag. If I don't have that environmental, I'm screwed. I can't work my dogs, okay? So it's very important that you don't alienate those people, and that you show respect, and that you don't act like you belong there or you own the store. You don't. They're letting you use their store, and you need to really be appreciative of that, and thank you. So all you folks down at the Tractor Supply, my local, thank you very much. All those folks that I already built up relationship with that miss me, we're down in Lake Elsinore, that I had already built up numerous different locations that I went to, thank you. I mean, thank you for helping me out and letting me use your environment and not having an attitude of negativity, you know. And so all of you professionals that are wanting to look at using environment, make sure you respect and honor that, you know, and really work hard to build those relationships and to honor and respect that relationship that you've got with those locations, because without them you can't do the work. So that's my reply to the gentleman that said that I was pretty brave. But keep in mind, I've been doing this since I was a very young man. I've learned to use environment. It's a big part of my tool bag. You know, I build that up, and I use it very much. For all you professional trainers that are out there that feel awkward when you go out in public, don't. You know, realize that you're the expert, or you should become the expert, and that you need to personify that. You know, that's how you're going to get business in. That's how you're going to build your relationships, and the community is where you get your business. I mean, I get my business up here. That's one of my problems, is my location is so far away. I got to go 30, 40 minutes to get to that store, and it means that if I do 2 or 3 dogs in a day, my whole day's shot. But going back and forth trying to take dogs, or even putting a few of them in the vehicle, so it's not as nice as it was when I used to work down in Lake Elsinore area. It was like 5 minutes away. I had malls right around me, and so environmental is very important, and you're dictated by that if you're the type of trainer that I am, right? All right, so the other thing I did, I tried to go back in the video and kind of catch on some of the things that were going on in that. You saw right around 7 minutes and 30 seconds, right in there, I go up to a young lady that works in the store, and I have her come down to me, and I'm giving her hot dogs and that sort of thing. And then I take the toy in that time period, and I throw it over by my cameraman, which means the dog had to go into something that might have been a little bit stressful for him. Grab the toy and come out. So these little tricks, I've got a bunch of them in my bag that I use, and I will manipulate that training session. It's not all just what you saw yesterday. It's not only one approach. It's got to be a multifaceted approach to fix the problem like this, okay? So one of those things is to get enough obedience going in my neutral lab here at home so the dog understands what it's supposed to be, so I get those behaviors. You saw me one of the times I put her in a down in one of those aisles that she had people she had just passed, and now she's kind of in a little safe zone. Makes her feel a little bit secure. And then I used a down that she already knows. So there's a behavior that I'm using. And remember what I was talking about, you're building up anchors, right? It's mental anchors. It's things that she's familiar with that'll give her confidence as you grow the dog. So one of those other little things is I need to stay here in my neutral lab and build some more behavior, and get her more stable and understanding the patterns that I build here that I'll take out into the public. See, those patterns and those things are what's important, because if you build it here, she has no stress involved, she's learning. You're using food, you're using reward, you're using toys, all the things, these patterns of communication that you're establishing that you're going to use out there. And if you notice, her attitude was she's messed up. Obviously, she needs a lot more work. She missed that critical development period. But now I evaluate all the time when I'm probing on these things. It's nothing more than probing. When you go through there, you're experiencing things like when I went through that one little pinch with all those guys, and she kind of freaked out a little bit towards the end of the video. That was a threshold that she couldn't get through as far as her threshold to be able to handle that, and that stressed her out, and you saw her kind of get a little squirrely on me, right? So that tells me something, and it gives me something to analyze and to be able to use towards what I'm doing. So my evaluation of what I saw yesterday and what I was dealing with tells me that we're on our way, because I know where she was at when day 1, and I know where we're at in day 5 or 10, whatever it's been, 5 or 6 actually. And now I've assessed overnight, sleep on this stuff, I always do, I analyze it. I come out today and I know that I've got to get more behaviors built in. I got to do a better job at my communication baseboard with the animal, get her more secure in knowing what she's supposed to be and having a better communication baseboard with me and her, right? Building more of a bond, right? It's all about relationships. She has to trust me to know that I'm going to be there for her. That's why you hear me saying all the time, it's okay, it's all right. I'm basically reassuring the animal, right? But that relationship doesn't come and get more solid without work. So I will build this next few days. I'm going to probably stay here at home. I'm going to go out today because I got to get dog food, so I'll take her out and play with it a little bit more. But I'm going to pull her back in here, get more behaviors, and I'm going to be working the agility. Agility gives the dog a confidence, just like a child with going to the playground. Gives them confidence within their body, and it helps you build confidence. I'm also going to start pulling out sacks and getting her into her play toy, getting her into more drive and having more fun into the work, and let that maturity kind of set in a little bit as I'm juggling back in it. There's an old saying, how do you eat an elephant? How do you eat an elephant? That's a lot of thing to have to choke down, right? You do it very slowly, one little piece at a time, right? So I come at things over here, and then I come over things over here, and I keep doing this, and I keep working the dog forward towards our overall goal, which is to recover the animal and get her as secure as possible with her missing her imprint period that I was talking about. All right, the other comment that came in was somebody was praising me and saying, oh man, you're such a great asset because we've got a Dutchie mixed with a Malinois. Well, really, when you realize it or not, these guys have been mixing their breeds back there a long time. No matter what they say that the dog's a pure dog, it's not, okay? They breed for strength. They understand what they're doing, and they go out and they probe with their breeding programs, and they get a lot of different quality, either large size, they might want color, they might, all kinds of things. And believe me, they doctor their papers, whether they say so or not. We're the one that want to be purists, and we want to get into this FCI, AKC standards and shit. Excuse my language. But reality in Europe, they've been doing this for many, many years, and they breed for strength, and they know what they're doing, and they don't go totally to that strength. When you see this over in America, where you see this AKC and you see this, and everybody's all worried about papers. Papers are important for the public and for you, and it does bring up your value in what you can sell your dogs for. It is important, don't get me wrong. I need to know what my lineage is. I need to know what my general overall genetics are behind that animal. And I've done that. I've studied the dogs that I'm breeding, and I've done that. But at the same time, that's not everything. I mean, what I do is I judge the dog that's in front of me, right? So keep in mind that I've been doing, as far as problem behavior and things, I went through a whole time period in my life that's one of my specialties, was problem behavior. Dealing with people that have problems and they come to me, and usually it's a lot of reactivity, handler bound. You've heard me talking about this. Handler dependency is another big one that's a problem that comes at trainers all the time. So mental attitude, as far as I'm concerned, there's a lot of trainers that they get into this as kids and they start doing it, and they go into Schutzen, they go into these sports, and they think that's the end all. It's such a small niche market, it's not even funny. The amount of people that are in the sport are very few compared to the mass amount of public that has no clue and that are ignorant and don't have an understanding at all of dog psychology, and they need the help. So you as a trainer, my personal opinion is you should always have the attitude that they're here to help and educate the public. That's what I thrive on, is educating the public. They are my market, okay? More so than sport. Even though I love the sport and I go out and I hang around all those guys and I need their talent and their decoy ability and in their abilities to do what I need to have done towards what I build in the overall product that I build. But at the same time, you know that your market is the general public. I mean, believe it. And they're the ones that are going to be bringing you the problems, because they're the ones that screw up the dogs and cause the problems. So back to her comment about my familiarity with the breed, this and that. Remember, just because I'm showing you a weak dog and it's a Dutch Shepherd doesn't mean that all Dutch Shepherds are like this, okay? It just means this one missed a critical development period. And all breeds go through this, because if they're not raised properly and that you don't do the right thing, they are going to have these propensities. The same thing. You got critical development periods. You got fear periods in puppies. You got fear periods in dogs. These things are universally always the same. Now, there may be different variances of it and different skills in the people that have these puppies that they're raising. How you treat your animal matters. Remember what I said. It's not about heel, sit down, stay. It's about your relationship with your dog. Heel, sit down, stay, and getting a dog to do these behaviors is nothing more than that. A behavior, right? But where's the dog's head out in the work? That's the whole thing. Temperament and how they're developed and what they're doing. And every dog is different. You'll have this happen to all kinds of different breeds. It's not just Malinois and Dutch Shepherds, okay? It happens because of ignorance and from lack of knowledge. When I say ignorance, I don't mean it as a negative. It's just lack of knowledge. You don't understand, see? So you need to be educated and you need to understand. That's why I do these videos, because I'm trying to help you guys learn and grow as far as animal psychology and understanding what makes a dog tick, right? And the whole thing of developing a puppy is an art, okay? It's a skill, and it's something that you can get good at if you give it enough time. I just happen to be halfway decent at it. I'm not the best. I mean, I've got all kinds of things. You never stop learning and growing. So keeping your mental attitude, being humble, is very important. So that's about it for my yak session this morning. I thank you for watching my videos as usual, guys, and I'll try to keep putting out more and trying to keep letting you see what I'm doing. I'm going to kind of drop the camera for a while in regards to working with Aurora, the little puppy you saw yesterday and stuff, because what I find when I'm on film and I'm sitting here yakking like this, my brain is separated. When I'm without that at all and I'm just in tune with the animal and I'm in tune, I do a lot better than you see me on film. Believe it or not, you're not seeing the full ability that I have because I'm distracted. I'm split. My brain is split in two different parts, right? So I'm going to go ahead and develop her a little bit, and then I'll bring her back and let you see some of this maybe in a week or two, right? And then I've got some other work I need to do with some other dogs. But I need to take a break because I'm doing too much of splitting my brain and my dogs are suffering because of it, right? So all this yakking at the screen doesn't do the dog as well as it would if I didn't have that brain split that I have to deal with when I'm trying to talk to you guys and educate you and deal with the dog. So I thank you very much. Mark Ferrasci, ProTech Dog Training. If you need anything, have any questions, give me a yell. Need some help with the dog? That's what I'm here for. I thank you much. Bye-bye.